Nice computer. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning,
Morning.
afternoon at this point.
Yes, sir. Uh, so let's get after it. Today we're gonna do like a listen through of our most recent EP, Fantastic Invasion. We kind of want to go song by song and spend a couple minutes talking about the backstory of the song, some any any fun facts or anything that we feel is relevant or cool in the production process of that song. All of the above. We're gonna go into depth. We're gonna tear these songs apart, and we just want to share it with you guys, and hopefully you guys find it interesting because we really love doing all this stuff and creating these songs, and so much of it goes unseen just by listening to it. And then after each discussion of each song, we're going to listen through that specific song and kind of stop and go, point out some cool moments or some of our favorite stuff in that song, and you're gonna get to see us kind of geek out a little bit because we love our music. We think it's dope. We think it's a lot of fun to listen to, and hopefully you agree if you're watching this. Now we get into
Yeah,
the beast, the belly of the beast, the island.
home stretch.
We
Home.
might as well make this thing like two parts and just put the island in its own part.
That's how mixing went. Basically mixing was a couple months of like everything else, and then we were like, oh god, like we're gonna hit the island eventually. Oh, like it was just it was the finish. It was the home stretch that we weren't ready for. And so after a couple months of mixing on that, we were like, okay, it's time. It's time. We're gonna get to it. And we started tackling the island, and Shane had only kind of done some stuff to it, and we just ran at it. And boy, is it awesome. It's crazy. You want to give us some story behind the piece, Dan? You wrote the lyrics for this and the chords and stuff, and then we all kind of chipped in creatively with some of the cooler, I guess, some of the cool musical aspects of it.
Yeah, I wrote this in high school. I think junior year maybe. Um,
Sounds about right.
uh, lyrically, it's kind of about my struggle to find, um, I guess, like-minded people, uh, specifically in music taste. I mean, our high school was um, in a pretty rural area. Not a lot of people were listening to the stuff that we were listening to. And so like I kind of like wrote the song about like this fictional island where everybody could just go to and everybody would be into the same stuff, and then it'd be like a paradise for me or for anybody else who felt the same way. um it's just like the urge to get out. I think kind of drove that song. I mean, we went to high school in a pretty small town, and we live in a pretty mid-sized city, but I was just kind of growing weary and tired of the repetition of where I was going and the things I were doing and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I was coming at it lyrically. Um, I guess song structure wise, I guess I was trying to just get it all out of my system. A lot of odd time,
That's
and
one way to put it.
I was into I was into a lot of prog rock at the time, which I still am, and I was into a lot of Fish at the time, which I definitely still am, and you can hear both of those influences, kind of in the riffage, in the odd time, and the sort of jam sections, for me and Colin to take some solos over. And it's really just a vamp. I mean, it's not really like the actual verse and chorus are nothing complex, uh, but it's the part where there's no words is where we shifted the focus a little bit. Um, but there's some cool stuff I can kind of point out as we listen to it.
Yeah. Um, the song's crazy. It is insane. This again is like kind of it's definitely more of our like jam band influence coming through. We love to play this live. It's so fun to play live because we all just can go crazy. Everyone gets an opportunity to just show off a little bit. Um, yeah, let's get into it. This is the longest one on the album, on the EP, clocking in at 7:47, 7 minutes and 47 seconds. It's a beast. Are you?
So Dan wrote this bass line for me. This song is his brainchild.
Where did you all go? Hiding out in holes, can't find you. And I get that it's so hard, baby, to understand what we've all been through.
God, I remember learning this song, like, and Dan trying to just get it all out of his head, and like watching him go through this creative process with us. And, you know,
Exhausting.
he was like a mad scientist trying to explain his algorithms and stuff. And he used to look at Sam, who was our drummer, a while back, and try to explain like what he wants or like how this stop is gonna work. And you're like, oh, we always make fun of him because every time Dan tried to like explain it to him, he'd just start like beatboxing at him or like scatting it. Like, no, I kind of want the groove to go like, and we're like, how's that go again, Dan? You want it to go like, you know, like we give him crap for it all the time. Every time he's trying to explain like how he wants a drum pattern to kind of sound or the groove to be, like we give him a lot of crap for it. But
And even my dad, when he was trying to learn this, like he wasn't those hi hats like that's he wasn't put in the right place. I was like, no, like the hi hats aren't in the right place, Dad. Like
it's gotta be
you gotta move it.
not doing good, God, but you know, it's gotta be.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all just
Uh,
Dan in bewilderment, like what is happening?
and I remember this next part. It's like this little guitar unison, or guitar saxophone
That as well.
harmony line, which was a late addition, and we debated it for a while. But I kind of wanted to break up the verse because you know it's a vamp. I mean, it's just a B minor chord with altering one note. So I thought this would kind of give it a little more, you know, oh, that's something new, just to kind of break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? Trying to hide where
I gotta ask because every time I listen to this and I wonder about it, what's happening with the guitars there, Dan? Is it's there's like two guitars playing kind of out of sync with each other, or
No, the guitars. Well, we tracked the rhythm guitar. We
beginning?
tracked one rhythm guitar first. And I'm using a phaser pedal that's what I tracked it with. That wasn't post.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was that because I tracked it again, the phasers weren't exactly lined up.
Mm.
So Shane had to do a lot of work to really make things sound like they were aligned because the rhythmic aspect of it sort of was, but like the direction of the phase wasn't. So that's why it kind of sounds a little bit swirly, if that makes any sense.
I think it came out cool. It sounds groovy.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like trippy in a way.
Yeah.
real beliefs reside. It's hard enough as it is, baby. Struggling to live in this
one more
unwelcome
thing.
sight.
I actually remember, like up until we recorded this, I was playing that line with you on guitar, and when we recorded it, it sounded horrible. And I was like, I'm just gonna give that like that's just you.
Yeah.
During that break.
Yeah, the stops where I sing like the higher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came up better. It used to be like Luke also played that, and you also kind of just in unison.
Yeah.
With me, and I think it came out better for it probably now, especially later on when I kind of take some liberties with those stops.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Don't try to hide it anymore. Come on now, let the music play. Let's all be together. 'Cause I know right now, I know what you got now. None of us are outcasts to each other.
So the backing vocals that you heard in that chorus there was actually done by me, Nate, Dan, and then Dan's younger sister Claire. So it was 4-part harmony that Nate wrote, and we kind of got everybody involved in there.
Crunchy stuff.
Yeah.
If you listen to just the God, that's what I should have done for this, is like have all the tracks ready to go so we could listen to them a little bit. But if you listen to just like the vocal tracks on it, it's cool. It's really fun.
I remember I was like, Nate, like we need some backing vocals there, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, oh, you know that at the end of that One Lake Street Dive song, you go down smooth, like these big harmonies. I was like, just write something like that. I'm like, just no direction. It's just totally a vague idea, but he absolutely hit the nail on the head. So
We
I'm really
eventually
glad.
do it. We eventually got there.
Yeah.
They sound so cool, and especially like when we get to like the last chorus, like it just opens up, and we boosted the levels on the backing vocals a little bit there, and it's like, oh, it just sounds like a bunch of people singing together and like having fun. You know, it sounds like a chorus.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
We all have the same musical brothers. Let's escape the eyes of.
What a lick.
That was about
And we're
what, the
having fun.
seventh or eighth take for Luke. We were trying to get that little sax lick in there just right.
Yeah.
And we had to go over it probably 8 times.
Because we wanted, these chords here are not like anything else, because it's like a weird bridge, not a verse. It's not like the normal verse, which is just like the B minor vamp that Dan said. Like this has chords moving around here. It's kind of a bridge, but it's really early in the song, and we were trying to like give him some direction on like how to outline these chords best. Like, okay, it's a B chord and we need to end up on C, so like, can you kind of point us in that direction? Okay, well, that's not sounding great. Can you do the same thing but like end up here? It was a process, but man, he ended up really getting some awesome takes done.
Yeah, these changes are very much so like Steely Dan influenced, like no real relation, but still kind of related, like thematically related, I guess.
Yeah.
World, our shelter reality has now unfurled.
I just want to prepare the audience for this solo.
No, let him hear it first.
Talk about it after.
All right, so the man took us to space, and then was back down to Earth, and now we're taking off again. Colin's crazy. He's such a talented musician.
He was not happy with that solo either, I remember.
Yeah,
He was like, I don't know. I don't really feel good about that. We were like,
it's so good. It's like, dude, come on. I remember him tracking that, and because we were all just sitting there in the room with him, because it's like an electric keyboard. He's like, nah, I don't like it. Like we did, that was like what, like probably like second or third take,
yeah,
That's pretty early on.
5 or 6, and he was like, and we were like, dude, like we gotta go back to that one. It was just because it doesn't build a crazy like too much. There's plenty of that saved for later. Don't worry, but it's just stanky enough. You know, it just gets away from normalcy enough in the middle of this song so that we can move on and get to the crazy stuff later. But so much cool stuff happening there.
yeah. Great playing in and out of the key center.
Yeah.
What have we got to lose? No one wants to watch this fantastic invasion. Let's finally get the hell out of here. It's no longer in your imagination.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That was something we changed up pretty late too. We were like, those stops are just the same, and then it kind of
Too boring.
bland after a while. So what is it in the first verse? We're like it's off on 1 and then back in on 2, and then we're like, oh well, what if we just wait a little bit on the second verse, like throw them off, come in on 3 or something. I'm using the wrong numbers here, but
Oh, I think
Yeah,
we just
so
dropped one, right?
in the first verse, it was the whole break was one measure, and we
Mhm.
came back on 1 on the next measure, and then in this verse it's out 1 measure plus the first beat, and then we come back on 2.
Yeah, and it's just enough change where like you anticipate the band to come back in, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh god, you know. And that kind of happens throughout the whole song, really. I mean, there's a lot of that, especially as we get later on into the song where there's some mixed meter stuff. It's like the whole we kind of got like one of the conclusions we came to with this piece was like it's out there enough to where you want to dance to it so much, but you can't. Know? Like I remember your dad said that at one point. He was like, "Yeah, like." But later on, there's like a section where it goes between 4 and 7, like every other measure or so, and it's like you feel the 4 and you start dancing, and then the 7 comes in, you're still going good, and oh okay, and then you just missed 1 when you're like grooving to it, because you anticipate it. So like there's a lot of that within this song, like anticipated groove, where we don't give it to you. Sorry. Moving on.
We're going on to this island. You can come along if you feel the way we do. Pack your bags, it's time to go. I don't mind if you bring an idea too. Don't try to hide it anymore. Come on now, let the music play. Let's all be together. 'Cause I know right now, I know what you got now.
Lots of cool stuff happening in the chorus there. Dan, how many guitar tracks are playing in there?
Just 3 or 4. I'm
Yeah,
not really sure.
and a couple of them are just doing really different things, um, outlining some cool things in the chords, and some are playing just rhythm. But there's just a lot going on. It's really cool. I believe now we're going into the guitar solo section.
Yeah, which alters between 2 bars of 4 and 2 bars of 7/8.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like you're off, but then you're back on because 2 bars of 7 is an even number. So it kind of works. It's kind of like an idea I borrowed from this Grateful Dead song called "Estimated Profit," where it's like the drums are playing in 4, but the song is in 7. So it comes out of sync every other measure, but it still lines up in a way.
Mm-hmm.
This
My
is,
dad plays around on that.
Yeah, so Greg did on the cymbals. He'll be hitting quarter notes, and he'll keep doing the quarter notes through the bar of 7/8, the 2 bars of 7/8. So and the second one it gets off, and you're on the off beats. You're like, wait, what's happening? And all of a sudden, it's right back on.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
Yeah.
That was one part that I really liked through this section.
Dan on the solo, just awesome stuff.
Oh, thank you.
This was a lot of takes on this one.
before we get into the next part of the song, which is where it really goes crazy, it's just awesome stuff happening in that solo. Dan really such a skilled player, and Colin is just having so much fun underneath you. You can if you listen for it. That was another part of where we kind of went through and we're like, God, bring that up a little bit. Like
Yeah.
Dan's taking a second off here in the solo. Bring Colin up a little bit because he's doing some cool stuff. Um, Again, Mr. Rona just carrying those things over bar lines, like carrying that pattern over bar lines in such a way that like you feel off, but you're still in it, and like it wants to keep going. He's driving the bus, and Riley's keeping us grounded by doing that consistent bass line.
Yeah.
Everyone else was having fun, and I was in bass hell.
Yeah.
Rock steady.
I remember you're trying. There were a couple takes where it was like, God, I'm just trying to keep it in, trying to just lock it in and stay consistent.
I wish we took a video of that one, because you could see me in the back room with Mr. Rhoda on drums.
Just
And
count.
I'd be standing there going with my head like, and
Yeah.
it was like I had to put my whole body into it, because otherwise I was gonna lose it. And it was like it had to all be in pretty much just one take, without a solo over the top of it. So we were trying to build this solo section with no solo, and also not mess up the stupid 7/8 that Dan decided to
Yeah.
write into this song.
Yeah. and then overdubbed the solo later, and it's just such a cool little section of the song. And here, after that last chorus, and when we get into this solo, we've kind of departed from the structure that we normally are in, and we've ventured over to like jam band world, and now we're floating out there, and
Not for long.
long enough. There are a couple themes that kind of come and go. The first you already heard now is that kind of starts working its way in, and you'll hear some different ones come and go, and in a really fun way.
The train has left the station.
Yes, it has.
So I think I started playing the theme where I think once we ended that solo section at that kind of climax, it goes back to 4. We're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be calm now. But then after I play that theme a couple of times, we're playing the theme, but it's in 15. It's in 15. So sorry about that one.
No, we're not.
Not at all.
Train's leaving the station. Get on board, folks.
You want to stop it for a second?
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty to talk about. I think we'll probably listen to this one a couple times.
So that riff that I was talking about, something is added every time around, and that's kind of me and this newer band I've been into called the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, which everything just has a major third harmony on it, no matter what key it's in. So I was like, yeah, that's going on the last one, and like Nate had a vocal line, and we added sax and keys and a couple of guitar tracks, and then at the end of that, there's like a white noise kind of swoosh, and then everything drops out except for the guitar, and it sounds like the guitar is like in a different room in a way. And that was an idea I borrowed from a Pink Floyd song called "Have a Cigar," where in the guitar solo there's this swoosh that comes out of nowhere, and the whole band is playing, but it sounds like it's like off in the distance. It's really hard to describe, but it's a really cool effect. So I wanted to do that, and just have everything drop out, and then everything come right back in. And in that section after that swoosh, quote unquote, it's 3 bars of 4 and a bar of 5, and the 5th beat of the 5/4 bar is silent. And Shane did some cool stuff in every 5th beat, following that first one. But the first one, he cut out all the noise, so it's literally dead silent. There's no amp noise, there's no mic noise, there's nothing there. And then the second one, um, he took my amp buzz and he pitched it down, which was something I asked them to do. So you can hear it go like, "Ooh," which just the noise of the amp, but I think it's pretty cool, and you can definitely hear it. Like if you got good headphones on.
There are some really cool things that just like little like just spices here, some cool stuff there. I mean, like you said, at the end of that 15 section, the do 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 riff, like there's literally parallel major chords happening, just moving up and down. Like 1 3 5 is happening like up and down the riff, and everyone's playing that riff together, and your dad's banging on the snare to that rhythm. Just it's so cool. And then we get this new idea introduced, like that gets introduced with the really compressed far off guitar. And then again, like you said, like Shane plays around with some effects, that whooshing sound that we borrowed from Pink Floyd. Really cool things happening. We played around with this for weeks, for hours, like over the course of weeks. It was a lot of fun. We'll get back into it. Also,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
again, I'm gonna actually like rewind so we can listen to the whole like big section here, straight through. But like we went so crazy with Luke's sax tones. There was
Yeah.
What's that Jacob Collier song?
Is it Nebaluyo?
Yeah, Nipapaluyo, Nip. Yeah, and there's if you listen to that song, like I don't know who he is that plays saxophone on that, but he's an
Oh yeah, what's his name?
animal. And Jacob Collier throws some insane pitch shifters on the sax tone, and so you'll hear in this section some of those effects on Luke's saxophone tone, and they sound just so dirty and stanky and awesome. I'm gonna
back it up a couple
back it up
seconds.
so we can just listen to this last like minute and all the way through.
Don't try to hide it anymore. Come on now, let the music play. Let's all be together. 'Cause I know right now, I know what you got now.
So that's that. That is the island. God.
Yeah, my dad's just, I don't even know what he's doing.
Dude, yeah, the drums going crazy, sax is going crazy, Colin's playing some really spacey stuff.
I decided to help Riley out with keeping it steady this time.
Yeah, Dan jumps down.
I'm not doing anything. I'm playing the riff.
to ground us a little bit. Like we went crazy with this section, and there were certain points where we're like, oh, we got to draw it back, and like, no, we don't. No, throw it all at him. And like we're like, how the hell do you mix all this? Like you want everything to kind of have its moment in the spotlight. And then you kind of like that last one there. We kind of like let everyone just be going crazy.
Yeah, and that section where we move into 15, we had Shane turn off the metronome, so the rest of the song is actually in free space. So there is no grid or anything. It's just
no click.
It's just absolute madness.
It's on our own.
Yeah, which is actually kind of cool as well. That last chorus was actually without a click as well, because we couldn't turn it back on for that. So that was.
In the last chorus, we kind of joked around. It's like we come back in like nothing happened, you know, like oh, yeah. We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen and get back to the song, you know, back down to earth.
Like you were about to get caught doing something like really bad, and you're like, oh nope, everything's normal.
Yeah. Just insanity. And again, it goes to this is us kind of flexing like our improvement as musicians. We've all like And the addition of Colin and Luke, the addition that they bring to our sound is crazy. It's whew, oh man.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank God for them, and thank God for Shane, because I'm pretty sure if we went to any other sane sound engineer with that section alone, they would have been like, nope,
They
find
wouldn't have
somebody
put up
else.
with it.
Yeah.
yeah, and the amount of tweaking, minute, just like well, I don't know, quiet that down a little bit. No, no, you know what? We need more of it. Stuff like that. Like, yeah, God, that guy has the patience of 3 million nuns.
I think he had a little bit of fun with it too, which
Oh,
it was fun because we could kind of joke around with him, and he would have he was having a good time with it as well. So
Yeah.
we definitely got really lucky with Shane, because I don't it would this album or EP wouldn't have sounded this way if we didn't have someone like Shane mixing it. So
yeah, and the island for me is like just such a fun and impressive song. It's such a feat of our musicianship. Um, that end section there, there's just so much going on. That's the kind of stuff that we all freak out about. Like that's the kind of stuff where like we hear Corey Wong do it, or we hear someone like some artist or like Jacob Collier, and we're like, holy crap! Like check this out, guys. We like send it to each other. Like that's the stuff we live for as musicians, and I feel like we finally really got to make some of that ourselves.
Yeah. Got to incorporating those influences.
Mm-hmm. Um, and it's musically complex. I don't think it's hard listening, but it's still complex. Um,
Hopefully interesting to listen to.
yeah,
Which I'm assuming if anybody's watched this to the full 2 hour mark, then you're interested. So thank you if you're watching this far.
yeah, thanks for sticking
Um,
around.
that was that's our insight onto Fantastic Invasion.
yeah.
I guess until next time.
Until next time.
Yeah, maybe we can do this again with we still have those other mixes, and the isolated vocals, isolated instruments. We could go through like some of that. We have old mixes, right? We could look at
Yeah,
those.
that's right.
That'd be kind of cool. Look at the comparison of old mixes to that final product.
We could also do it with the first EP too, because there's a lot of stories behind that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, posted podcast.
Podcast. Thanks for.
Coming soon.
That's all from us.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you guys.